Hi, so in this video, I want to cover a really simple topic, but at the same time, it's super important. And if you do it properly, then you can get a lot of leads. And even though it might seem too simple to some of you, it's actually something that a lot of business owners don't do properly. They have a business name that doesn't exactly match the services that they provide or the services they want to focus on. I work with a lot of companies, and most companies do these things properly. But a lot of companies don't have the right business name. Now, I'm not saying that you should start a whole new business and stuff and do everything from scratch. That's not what you need to do. Like, there's a really simple solution to all these issues, but in this video, I'm going to explain why this is a huge problem, how some companies do it incorrectly, and how you can actually make sure that you are using the right business name for your company. Having the right business name can help you get a lot more referrals. It can help people understand immediately what kind of services you provide. It can help them remember you a lot more easily, and it can also help you a lot with digital marketing as well. Having a wrong business name can do exactly the opposite. So that's why you need to be super careful when it comes to choosing the right business name for your company. If you've been in business for a long time and people know you, then of course, you shouldn't modify your business name completely, but maybe make some slight modifications to it. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So let's say a company is called John's Lawn Care. So let's say John wants to focus on tree services because he's pretty skilled, he knows what he's doing, he's been in business for a long time, he noticed that tree services are maybe more profitable in his area and stuff, and he wants to focus on those services more. If he keeps his business name, then people are going to have a harder time remembering that he actually provides those services. If people hear about his company, like John's Lawn Care, they're not going to assume that he does tree services as well. They're going to assume that he doesn't actually do those, because if he did those, then maybe his name would be John's Landscaping Services or something. So this is why it's super important to have the right business name. Here's another example. So recently I worked with a contractor who focuses mostly on remodeling services, but his company name, who's been around for a long time, contains the real estate keyword in the title. So his name is, for example, John's Real Estate, and he does remodeling. When people see his business name, they're not going to assume he does remodeling. Even if he's ranking first on Google search results and they search for his services, and they see his business name, nobody's going to actually give him a call. Like, people are just going to scroll past by him. So, you know, it can actually do a really significant damage in other areas of business as well. The simplest solution is to get a DBA. So doing business as, and then you can pick the right business name that fits the services that you provide. The reason why getting a DBA is super beneficial, of course, is because it's basically a legal document that says that your business is also operating under a different name. But you can also make more modifications to your website, to your Google business listing and stuff. And in case Google decides to suspend your listing, you have an actual legal document to show that your business is actually called that way. The reason why Google sometimes suspends businesses who change their business names is because Google understands how important this factor actually is. And Google understands that whenever there's an important loophole, then people are going to use it. But when you have a DBA, of course, you shouldn't run into any issues. Changing the business name to a different name that you don't actually have on your Google business profile is against Google's guidelines. For example, if you add your company name and then you add services you want to focus on. For example, John's Remodeling and Bathroom Services. That is against Google's guidelines, and even though a lot of people still misuse that stuff, it's definitely not something that I recommend you to do. If you want to focus on a different service group, the best advice that I can give you is to pick a right business name, get a DBA for that business name, and then of course modify your logos, modify the website, modify your Google business listing. And as long as you don't change your business name too much, people are still going to know that that's this company, except that now they provide some additional services or they rebranded and stuff. Rebranding is super powerful, and it's not something that a lot of business owners utilize properly. A lot of business owners set up an LLC, and then 10 years down the line, they don't even provide the same services that they used to provide 10 years ago. So of course, their business name is not going to match what they do right now. Think about this deeply, and don't just go ahead and get a DBA for every single service you want to rank for, because that's going to cause a lot more problems. But for example, if you are a landscaping company and you want to focus on a lot of different landscaping services, don't just change your business name to whatever. Like, try to think what would be the best name that would properly tell people that you provide all these different services. If you, for example, add bathroom remodeling in your business name, then sure, it's going to help you rank higher in a short run. It's going to let people know that you provide those services and stuff. But if you do decide that bathroom remodeling is too competitive and you can't get enough leads, or you decide that you want to focus on kitchen remodeling later, it's going to cause a lot more problems. Think about it from this perspective. What do you want your business to be about in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years, and then go from there. Pick the right business name that fits that idea. Another problem with choosing the bad business name is the fact that it's going to give the wrong impression to people. Like I said in the beginning of this video, even if you can show up on the top of Google, if your business name doesn't properly reflect the services that people are searching for, even if you're ranking for those services, you're not going to get clicks. Let's use this real estate guy as an example. His business name was, for example, John's Real Estate. Even if he ranks at the #1 spot on Google when people search for remodelers near me, remodeling contractors near me, and all that stuff, even if he is at the #1 spot all the time in a wide area, he's still not going to get as many clicks as he would if his business name was, for example, John's Remodeling Services. This name is really generic. I'm just giving you an example, of course. If you searched for a remodeling contractor and you saw a real estate company, would you click on that company? Would you consider and would you think that this company provides those services? Oh, you know, maybe they just had a business name for a long time or something. Most people wouldn't do that. And that's just the reality of these things. I know this because I know the difference when we change the business name. But like I said in the beginning, don't just go ahead and change the business name every time you want to focus on a different service or something. But make sure that your business name properly reflects the services that you provide. Now, I use the hypothetical example that even if Google shows you the #1 spot on Google for remodeling services, if you have a real estate keyword, but all of that isn't really realistic. If Google sees a specific keyword in your title that says that you do specific services, you're going to have a really hard time ranking for other services. That could work only in areas that are really non-competitive. So if you're one of the few businesses in your area and all these other businesses suck, then sure, that could work. But if Google has 20 different companies to choose from, and they also see your company who has a business name that doesn't reflect, the services that you provide at all, then of course, they are probably going to prioritize showing these other companies instead of yours. You're just giving the wrong idea to Google on what kind of services you actually provide. Now, when business owners hear this stuff, they immediately think I'm going to add a keyword to my business name and that's going to help me show up for those services. Even though changing the business name can significantly impact your rankings, it's not the only thing that actually helps with your rankings. Even if you have the perfect business name, but you don't do these other things, it's not really going to help you rank high. You need to do all these other things related to your SEO, and then you need to have the right business name. And when you combine these two things, you get a lot of reviews, then you're going to get a ton of leads from your Google business listing. I really hope this video has been beneficial. I know a lot of business owners understand this perfectly, but there's a lot of business owners who don't. I know this because I work with a lot of different contractors. And of course, if you need help with your marketing, then go to my website, logicalmarketer.net. I'll leave a link in the description. Even if you don't want to work with me and my team, feel free to send me your questions. I'll be happy to provide some additional advice on what you can do to get more jobs. Thank you for watching this video, and of course, feel free to leave a like because it's probably going to help other people see this or whatever. I don't know. I'm still learning about the YouTube algorithm, but it's pretty fun. And, thank you for watching.